Every era's soccer GOAT explained. Who's actually the greatest soccer player of all time? Every generation has an answer, and they can't all be right. It all starts in 1863, when English clubs wrote down official football rules for the very first time. Early football was rough, muddy, and played with a heavy leather ball that got even heavier when it rained. The first World Cup happened in 1930, and Uruguay hosted it, played it, and won it in their own backyard. Giuseppe Meazza was Italy's first true superstar, so beloved they named the San Siro Stadium after him. In the 1950s, Ferenc Puskas led Hungary's mighty Magyars, a team so good they humiliated England twice. Alfredo Di Stefano was the engine of Real Madrid, doing a bit of everything before anyone called it total football. Garrincha dribbled defenders for fun, one leg shorter than the other, and somehow made it look effortless every time. In 1958, a 17-year-old named Pele won the World Cup for Brazil, and the world took notice. By 1970, Pele had won 3 World Cups, and many still call it the greatest Brazil team ever assembled. Eusebio, the Black Panther, dragged Portugal to 3rd place in 1966 while scoring goals like it was easy. England had their own hero too, Bobby Charlton, whose thunderous shots helped win the 1966 World Cup at home. Johan Cruyff basically invented modern soccer thinking, turning the Dutch national team into a swirling total football machine. Franz Beckenbauer redefined defending by strolling out of the back line and starting attacks himself, a role called Libero. The 70s also brought Kevin Keegan, proof that relentless energy and hustle could beat you just as much as talent. A short, stocky kid from Buenos Aires named Diego Maradona was about to change what one player could do alone. In 1986, Maradona punched a goal in with his fist against England and casually called it the hand of God. Minutes later, in that same game, he dribbled past 5 England players for what's still called the goal of the century. France had Michel Platini, whose vision and free kicks won him 3 straight Ballon d'Ors in the mid-80s. Marco van Basten scored one of the most iconic volleys ever at Euro '88, a goal that still looks impossible. Roberto Baggio, Ponytail and all, carried Italy through the 90s with pure elegance on the ball. Romario was a pure poacher, sniffing out goals inside the box better than almost anyone in the 90s game. Then came Ronaldo Nazario in the mid-90s, a striker so fast, and skilled people just called him the phenomenon. After brutal knee injuries almost ended his career, Ronaldo came back to win the 2002 World Cup with Brazil. Zinedine Zidane made soccer look like ballet, gliding past defenders with a calm that never seemed to break. Zidane scored 2 headers in the 1998 World Cup final, handing France their first ever World Cup title. Luis Figo tore up wings for Portugal and Real Madrid, and his controversial transfer once caused a riot in Barcelona. Rivaldo could bend a free kick from 30 yards or launch an overhead bicycle kick like it was nothing. Ronaldinho played with a permanent grin, turning nutmegs and no-look passes into pure entertainment on the field. At Barcelona, Ronaldinho was so magical that opposing fans once stood up to applaud him after a goal. Kaka combined speed, skill, and a squeaky clean image, winning the Ballon d'Or right before 2 kids changed everything. A tiny Argentine kid named Lionel Messi debuted for Barcelona in 2004, and nobody knew what was coming. Around the same time, Cristiano Ronaldo arrived at Manchester United, a raw winger obsessed with becoming the best ever. For the next 15 years, Messi and Ronaldo would trade trophies and records in the greatest rivalry soccer's ever seen. Messi led Barcelona to an unreal 2009 treble, winning the League, Cup, and Champions League all in one season. Ronaldo moved to Real Madrid and became a scoring machine, dragging the club to 4 Champions League titles in 5 years. Messi ended up winning a ridiculous 8 Ballon d'Ors, more than any player in the history of the sport. Ronaldo answered back by becoming the all-time top scorer in Champions League history, a record still standing today. Andres Iniesta's extra-time goal won Spain the 2010 World Cup, the calm heartbeat of a golden generation. Xavi ran Spain and Barcelona's midfield like a metronome, completing more passes than anyone thought was possible. Neymar brought Brazilian flair back in a fashion, all step-overs and flicks, becoming the world's most expensive player ever. In 2021, Messi finally won a major trophy with Argentina, lifting the Copa America after years of heartbreaking finals. Ronaldo led tiny Portugal to Euro 2016 glory, even limping off injured and coaching from the sideline in tears. A teenager named Kylian Mbappe suddenly exploded onto the scene, faster than nearly every defender trying to stop him. At just 19, Mbappe scored in the 2018 World Cup final, joining Pele as the only teenager to do that. The 2022 World Cup final became insane. Messi and Mbappe trading goals in what many call the greatest final ever. Messi finally lifted the World Cup, the one trophy missing from his shelf, completing arguably the greatest career ever. Old school players trained on rough pitches with heavy balls, while today's stars have sports science, ice baths, and data everywhere. Tactics changed massively too, from simple attack and defend setups to today's pressing systems built entirely around data and analytics. Pele played for TV audiences in the millions, but Messi and Ronaldo get watched by literal billions of people worldwide. The women's game has its own GOAT debate, and Brazil's Marta scored more World Cup goals than any player ever. Megan Rapinoe led the USA to World Cup glory while becoming one of the loudest voices for equal pay in soccer. Before any of them, Mia Hamm was the pioneer, making American women's soccer a global powerhouse back in the 90s. Now the debate shifts again, with Mbappe scoring goals at a pace that has people whispering he could surpass them all. Erling Haaland brings pure goal-scoring machinery, breaking Premier League scoring records in barely his first full season. If you just count goals per game, some of these old strikers actually outscore Messi and Ronaldo by a wide margin. Count trophies instead, and Ronaldo's mountain of Champions Leagues and Messi's World Cup and Copa America stack up differently again. Judge dribbling and flair instead, and suddenly Garrincha, Ronaldinho, and Messi jump right back to the very top of the list. Every one of these players inspired millions of kids worldwide to grab a ball and dream of playing professionally someday. Messi and Ronaldo alone have social media followings bigger than the population of most countries on the planet. These players turned soccer into a global business empire, selling jerseys, sneakers, and stadium tickets by the hundreds of millions. So who's the real GOAT depends entirely on what you value most: trophies, stats, flair, or just pure impact on the game. Fans who watched Maradona live swear the eye test beats any spreadsheet, while stat nerds argue numbers never lie. Honestly, every generation crowns its own hero because you always remember the player who made you fall in love with the game. Honestly, there might not be one single GOAT at all, just a bunch of legends who redefined the game for their time. Think of it less like one king on a throne and more like a relay race, each legend passing the torch forward. So next time someone argues about the GOAT, just remember, every era gets the genius it deserves, and that's the real magic.